We've all seen LGBT characters in the things that we watch. It could be in a TV show, or in a film, or even in the video games that we play. But you may ask, why does it matter? Why does it matter if a character is gay or not? Why does it matter if a character likes the same sex, or even is trans or non-binary? I'm going to tell you that it does. Queer characters make the LGBT community be more visible and seen. These characters can dismember old stereotypes about the people inside the community. But sometimes people can abuse this need for representation for viewership. I'm just some guy with a bad mic, and this is why LGBT representation matters. LGBT characters have some type of story about how they are raised and how they dealt with being different from the social norm. And not every queer person has the same story. Two great examples of this are Love Simon and Love Victor. Love Victor is made as a spin-off of Love Simon and takes place in the same world. Love Simon has Victor as the main character. In this movie, he is a closeted homosexual man that is dealing with how he should come out to the people he loves, like his friends and parents, and his family, but also trying to figure out, who is this secret lover that I've been emailing that goes to my school? The movie is good, but the major problem with the movie was that it was portrayed as this great coming out story, when Simon's environment was completely safe for him to come out. His parents are white liberals, and the friends clearly show no prejudice towards queer people. This kind of made people upset that Simon's betrayal coming out was easy, unlike most of the community, when some people do not get to have that easy coming out story, where some people get thrown out of their house, get disowned, like they become homeless, and horrible things can happen to these people. And in response to the criticism they got from this movie, they made Love Victor, a TV show that is on Hulu. Love Victor was there to solve all the problems that Love Simon left. In this story, we have Victor, a Hispanic boy questioning his sexuality. Victor comes from a different type of family dynamic. His family is Hispanic and also religious, and those things don't go hand in hand when being open-minded, usually. And we get to see that this is true because his environment is not safe for him to come out, or LGBT safe in general. One scene has some students making some homophobic teases at Victor. There is a scene where Victor's grandparents see two boys kissing, and we see a visible disgust in the grandparents. There's a scene where the father admits to Victor that he hopes his little brother does not come out as gay. And it is obvious that the environment around Victor is not safe. And at the end of the season, he finally gathers the guts to come out to his family. And that's it. Unfortunately, we do not see the family's reaction, but the audience may have some guesses about what comes next for Victor. This is what Love Simon did not offer. A more accurate depiction or perspective of what is it like to come out with an unsafe environment. And as people are not blessed of Simon's life. And another great thing about Love Victor was that it broke stereotypes about gay people. We have Victor visit Simon in New York for one episode. Simon can't meet them because some altercation that he has to go to a bachelor party, so he sends his boyfriend Brom to go pick up Victor. Brom takes Victor to a basketball court to play basketball, because that was one of Victor's hobbies, and that's what Victor loves to do. And after playing, Victor is told that he was playing with an all-gay basketball league. This comes to a surprise to Victor because he could not tell that they were gay, which plays into a stereotype that most people have, that all gay people are feminine. And the show kind of discusses about it and breaks it down that if you're gay, you can be masculine, you can be athletic, you can be like nerdy, you can be whatever you want. But as long as you're true to yourself, it doesn't matter. Like, just being gay is just like the smallest part about you. What this does is speak about stereotypes, and that's what representation can do also. It can dismantle these stereotypes that we have about queer people. A good example of a character dismantling stereotypes is Mickey Milkovich from Shameless. In season 1, Mickey, not most of season 1, throughout the show, Mickey is presented as this major bully. He's always acts negatively in situations. His family is kind of in like a mafia, and he acts in the mafia. He is part of it. He has this like super violent nature towards people, and he is also a criminal and later becomes ex-convict. First seeing this character, you would never presume that he was gay. Every time you saw him on screen, he was just being rude and violent, and sometimes even a bit homophobic. Until he gets into an altercation with Ian Gallagher, one of the main characters of the show that everybody knew was gay in the show. And while they're fighting, they stop, look at each other, and start taking their clothes off. It was one of the most shocking scenes. Not because of what they were doing, but because it was Mickey. Of all the characters in the show, you would never assume. So the show just finished, and we get to see Mickey still be this violent person, but in the end he became more caring, but still having that masculine like mafia presence be a part of it, which is great because that kind of breaks down the stereotypes that, like I said earlier, gay people are feminine or gay people just are emotional. Or this dude, he's like can beat someone up. Like I think it's great. Like I said, representation is great to dismember these stereotypes and make people more visible. But sometimes creators abuse this want for representation and misuse it, or just straight up abuse it. One way that creators abuse this representation is in something called queerbaiting. Queerbaiting has multiple meanings. One meaning is that when you have two characters that are the same sex, and you make them have this like sexual tension or sexual subtext between them, but the relationship is never fully explored. A big offender of this is the show Supernatural. The show has been accused of teasing the relationship between two main characters, Dean Winchester and Castile. This queerbaiting went on for so long that the writers even made a joke about it in the show, about how the community started shipping the two and how there was definitely subtext between the two. But after 17 seasons of teasing the two, at the end of the show, they finally confessed their love for one another. It wasn't much, but it was something, I guess. Another form of queerbaiting was in the show Voltron Legendary Defenders, a kid show that they tried to add LGBT like representation, but it was totally wrong. In the show's last season, they confirmed that this character was gay, and he had a fiance that he left back at home, his home planet, Earth. The fiance only shows up for 2 scenes. One scene to introduce him, and the other scene to kill him. His fiance literally had no space to even fully have a relationship with the main character. All information that was given of this fiance was that his name was Adam. That's it, and he existed. And that he worked with the main character also. That is all. That is all we had. This form of queerbaiting is adding LGBT characters, but just to have that title of LGBT representation, but never having the characters address that they are queer or fully show that they are queer. It's like saying that a character has this ability to teleport, but they never use their ability or use it like once. Like teleporting is like a big part of them, and they just don't use it at all. Not because they don't want to, it's just that the show refuses to recognize that they have this ability to teleport when it was showed earlier. Um, this is the dangerous bit. Being LGBT isn't a social norm, so having characters that are queer would be a great way to showcase that queer people exist and this is the norm. But when we have characters that, like in Voltron or let's say Supernatural, it can kind of be damaging to the queer community and be damaging to how we present ourselves. In conclusion, LGBT people exist, and their need for representation should not be abused or misused, and should be used to make the community more visible and break down old stereotypes. I suggest that you watch the shows I referenced, other than Supernatural and Voltron Legendary Defenders. If you want to watch like shows that have LGBT representation and a good story, just don't watch Supernatural and Voltron. If you want me to list other shows with representation, please let me know in the comments, or email me at the email I'll put in the description. Have a good day, and thank you for listening.